Imagine coming home from work to find your entire family gone. No signs of a struggle. Dinner is still warm on the stove, the family van parked outside, and a single note on the door, written in a stranger's hand. "We're safe. Don't look for us." This is exactly what James Carter faced one cold night in 1996, but what was discovered nearly 3 decades later changed everything investigators thought they knew about this case. Before we go further into this chilling mystery, take a moment to subscribe and turn on notifications. This story will shake you. Because what was discovered nearly 3 decades later completely changed the entire investigation. The disappearance of the Carter siblings would become one of Oregon's darkest unsolved cases, and we're about to uncover why. April 17th, 1996. Location: Willow Creek, Oregon. Willow Creek, Oregon. A small town where nothing ever happens until that night. When James Carter returned home from his night shift, he expected to find his 6 children, Emily, Noah, Lily, the twins Sarah and Sam, and little Ben, fast asleep. Instead, he stepped into silence. The lights were on. Dinner sat untouched on the stove. 6 toothbrushes still lined the bathroom sink, but the children were gone. And on the front door, taped carefully for him to see, was a note: "We're safe. Don't look for us." But the handwriting didn't match any of the children. James Carter called the police immediately. Officers arrived at the farmhouse within minutes, searching every room, every closet. Nothing. No broken locks, no sign of a struggle. All 6 children's shoes, coats, and belongings were still inside. The family van sat untouched. Search teams flooded the nearby forest. Helicopters circled overhead. Bloodhounds picked up no scent. It was as if 6 children had simply vanished. That note on the door became the canter of the investigation. Handwriting analysis ruled out the children. There were no fingerprints, no fibers, no clues. By dawn, Willow Creek knew something was terribly wrong. Neighbors gathered outside the farmhouse, flashlights in hand. Dozens of volunteers joined deputies and firefighters to comb through the thick forests. Helicopters hovered overhead, shining searchlights down through the trees, but there was no trace, no footprints, no discarded clothing, nothing. As fear began to spread, parents in town locked their doors and held their children close. Whispers began circulating through town. Some believed a stranger had lured the children away. Others suspected someone close to the family, a relative, a family friend. Then a darker rumor spread about a cult living deep in the woods, a group that collected children. Investigators refused to confirm any theories, but privately they admitted this was one of the strangest disappearances they had ever seen. James stood in front of television cameras, holding back tears. "Please, whoever has them, just bring them home. I'll forgive you. Just don't hurt my children." He printed flyers. He plastered them across towns and highways for miles. He called relatives, friends, anyone who might know something. He even hired a private investigator, using what little savings he had left. But every lead ended in heartbreak. There were sightings. A group of children resembling the Carters was seen at a gas station in Idaho. Another report came from Montana, a bus stop. Each tip filled James with hope, but each one collapsed under investigation. The children were always someone else. One truck driver claimed to have seen a man herding children into a van late at night. He said they were silent, but the van's description was too generic. No license plate, no cameras. Another dead end. As the first anniversary approached, the investigation stalled. The missing posters faded. The media stopped calling. James kept the children's rooms exactly as they were. Beds made, toys untouched, books left open. He said he wanted them to feel like they could walk through the door at any moment. But with every passing day, hope slipped further away. James Carter never stopped searching. He drove hundreds of miles, chasing whispers and rumors. He scoured abandoned barns, vacant houses, even remote caves. But his health was failing. Friends described him as a man haunted by silence. In 2004, 8 years after the disappearance, James's heart gave out. He died without answers and without seeing his children again. After James's death, the case was quietly shelved. New crimes pushed the Carters out of the headlines. The farmhouse changed owners multiple times, but no one stayed long. Neighbors swore the place felt cursed. By the late 2000s and 10s, only a few still remembered the 6 missing siblings. Willow Creek carried on, but the open wound never truly healed. March 2020. A hiker named Thomas Avery followed an overgrown trail deep into the forest. Hidden among the trees was a collapsing cabin he had never seen before, dust, broken furniture, and in the corner, a rusted trunk chained shut. Thomas backed away and called the police. Hours later, investigators arrived, and what they found inside would change everything. The chains were cut. The trunk creaked open. Inside were children's clothes, school notebooks, family photographs. Some James Carter had used on missing posters, others completely new. At the bottom of the trunk was a small locked box. Officers pried it open. Inside was a single VHS tape, dated April 18th, 1996, the day after the Carter siblings vanished. The tape played through static and grainy images. There they were, all 6 Carter siblings huddled together on the cabin floor. Emily cradled Ben, whispering something the microphone couldn't catch. Then a man's voice filled the room, calm but chilling. "You're safe now. No one will hurt you here." Moments later, the screen went black. Investigators combed the cabin. Under the rotting floorboards, they found a journal. It belonged to Emily, the eldest sibling. She wrote about caring for her brothers and sisters, about a man who brought food, who promised they'd go home soon. "He says we can go home soon, but I don't think we will. I'm trying to be brave for the little ones. We miss Dad." Those words were her last entry. The discovery reignited the search. Cadaver dogs swept the area. Investigators dug through acres of wilderness, but they found nothing. No remains, no footprints, no new clues. It was as if the Carter siblings had vanished again. Evidence from the trunk was tested for DNA. Modern technology was their last hope, but after 24 years, the samples had degraded. No matches were found. Detectives reopened every lead from the 1990s, but witnesses' memories had faded. Many suspects had moved away or died. Theories resurfaced. Did the masked man keep the children alive in the cabin, move them elsewhere, or was he part of something bigger? Perhaps the cult townsfolk whispered about. Some detectives wondered if the siblings had escaped and started new lives somewhere else, but there was no proof, no answers, only questions. Nearly 30 years later, Willow Creek still remembers the Carters. Who was the masked man in the tape? Why take 6 children? Why keep their belongings in a trunk for decades? Someone out there knows the truth, but they have never come forward. Every April, Willow Creek holds a vigil. 6 candles are lit, one for each missing sibling. Their faces appear on posters and online forums, but the truth remains buried. Did they survive? Were they moved? Are their remains still hidden in the forest? What do you think happened to the Carter siblings? Leave your thoughts below, and remember, stay vigilant, because the next missing person could be someone you love.